So, in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about five essential plugins for every pro motion designer. Hey there, and welcome to the Motion Science Video Podcast. My name is Cameron, and I am glad to have you here with me today. Today, we're talking about five essential plugins that every pro motion designer should have in their toolkit, according to me. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of the videos that you see where they go into the screen captures and they show you like, here's the plugin in use. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to talk about these plugins today. If you want to see more about how they're used, I invite you to do a quick YouTube search or Google search, and you're going to find a lot of information about these plugins. Okay. So let's just get right into it. So, my first plugin that I'm going to talk about is called Overlord. Overlord. This one can be found at aescripts.com. Overlord is a plugin that I didn't think I would use that much, but I was pleasantly surprised. Okay. I bought it on a whim because I heard a lot of other motion designers talking about its power. And um, it's just that. It's so cool. What it essentially does is if you're working in Illustrator and you've got shapes designed in Illustrator or just different graphic elements, whatever typography, whatever it is in Illustrator, anything that you have built in Adobe Illustrator, with a click of one button, you click the button and it sends all of those assets or whatever you have selected right into After Effects and it layers them right up for you in a timeline as shape layers. It's amazing and it's such a time saver. What's really cool about it as well is you can adjust different parameters. So you can say, hey, I want to send this Illustrator shape over to After Effects and I want it to be all broken up into pieces. And because those pieces are, created in Illustrator. Or I want to send it all over into After Effects as one big shape. And because that's how I'm going to animate it. There's a lot of flexibility with how you can send vector Illustrator assets from Illustrator into After Effects with literally one or two clicks, and that's it. And then once they're in After Effects, I'm good to go. So I don't typically now, like in the past, I was always importing Illustrator documents into After Effects as layers, just like I do with Photoshop docs. But now I don't have to do that. I can just send them straight into After Effects as a shape layer and actually have more control over animating that vector inside of After Effects as a shape layer versus a vector layer. So Overlord, amazing, amazing plugin. Number two is a plugin called Frisch Luft Curves. And I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I'm terrible with pronunciations. It's a German company, I believe. Frisch Luft is spelled Frischluft curves. I'll tell you what, I'm going to link all these plugins and scripts in the description below so you can easily click and go right to that website. Frischluft Curves is the almighty plugin for curves. Okay. Now, most of you, all of you actually should know what curves are inside of After Effects. Curves is a plugin built into After Effects for adjusting. We use it for things like brightness, contrast, color correction, coloring. Curves is so powerful. What this plugin does by Frischluft is it's an extension of a curves plugin. It's not cheap for a curves plugin, but man, it's worth every penny. Okay. And maybe the price has fluctuated. Maybe it's dropped in price. Maybe it's gone up in price. I don't know, depending on when you're watching this video. But Frischluft Curves is a curves plugin that makes adjusting curves that much easier. It blew my mind. I started working with this plugin years ago. Maybe it's been 10 years at the time of this recording. Maybe it's been 10 years ago. It's been around for a long time. And the guy who made it is just a genius. And it just makes working with curves so easy. It makes, drawing points and moving points all about the curves process that much easier. You can get so much control over how your image is going to look with this plugin. It is a plugin that I absolutely adore. It is so powerful. Check it out, Frischluft Curves. I would also just throw in there that Frischluft makes a few other plugins as well for lens blurs and a couple other things. They're powerful as well. They are amazing plugins. Definitely check out First Lift Curves. Number 3 is Animation Composer by Mr. Horse. MrHorse.tv. Animation Composer has been around. It is so powerful. All these plugins are so powerful. I'm going to say that over and over again. What's cool about Animation Composer is that you can download the actual plugin for free, and it comes with several. I don't even know how many presets, but it comes with a lot of presets for free built into that plugin. When it opens up in After Effects, it's its own window, its own UI, and Animation Composer is there to help speed up your workflow when it comes time to animate. Okay. So what's cool about it is that you can get it, you can download it, install it, get the free version, play around with the presets. If you like it, what you can do is you can actually buy product packs for Animation Composer. The list is ever growing, but there are so many preset packs that you can buy for this plugin to speed up your workflow. So there's preset packs for like 2D animation. There's preset packs for 3D animation. There's preset packs for typography. There's preset packs for transitions. There's preset packs for textures and shape animations, shape layer animations. The list goes on and on. In fact, there's now a plugin for Premiere Pro as well. But Animation Composer is the original one. It's for After Effects. And I love it because it allows me to quickly see how a preset plays out. Like there's this little window, and you can just click a button. You can see very simply how something's going to move, and I can just click and drag and apply animations to typography, to photos, to shape layers, to any type of asset I have inside of After Effects. I can apply very quick, speedy animations and just see how things look and how things are working. I can try things out. Animation Composer is amazing for just experimenting. If I have a client who comes to me who wants something very simple, I know that Animation Composer can knock it out. Lower thirds, simple typography movements, boom, Animation Composer, click, click, done. Right? So easy. It's so simple. I absolutely love it. It's also, what's cool about it is it's based on expressions. So when you apply a move, it's not applying keyframes, it's applying expressions. And then it applies these little markers on your timeline. And all you have to do is drag these markers on your layer. It's not the timeline. It applies a marker to your layer in the timeline. You drag these markers left or right, and that adjusts your time for how long it takes the movement to happen or how long it takes the movement to transition in or transition out. It's so powerful. It's so easy to use. Everyone should have Animation Composer installed in their After Effects system. Number 4, Red Giant Universe. I have loved Red Giant since the beginning. I've always bought, I think, all of their plugins, all of them since the beginning. I love Magic Bullet. I love Particular. Their compositing tools they've had, the reflection tools. Some of the tools are no longer even available. They've moved them into different things. But Red Giant Universe was released a couple years ago or a few years ago. And this is a suite of plugins that's a subscription model. And the price changes, so I don't know what the price is at now, but it is worth every penny. Okay. Red Giant Universe is a plethora of plugins. It's divided up into categories like stylize and transitions and distortions, things like that. They have, I just find that there's so many of the plugins inside of Red Giant Universe that are so powerful out of the box, right? This is one of those few plugins that I can say, hey, I want like an analog look, and I'll go in and apply AV Club. AV Club slapped on my element, my asset. It looks great, right? I have to just adjust a few fine parameters of that plugin, but it looks great out of the box. The transitions from Red Giant Universe. You know, After Effects is limited in its transition abilities. Red Giant Universe has some amazing transitions. Everything about Universe is fun. That's another key important factor about Red Giant Universe is it's fun, right? It brought back this joy in using plugins for me. When I got it, it just put a smile on my face, right? And every version that they release, gets better and better with the presets they built in. It's got some amazing, powerful text presets for creating like some hacker text or computer text or holographic looks or analog looks, or obviously most of us know about the VHS looks. It's been overused, but it's there. There's old film looks. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And I just absolutely love it. It's a fun plugin to experiment with. It's a fun plugin, suite of plugins to just play around with and just, build your motion design and then add these at the end as the polish and just see what happens. You'll be pleasantly surprised and you'll just have fun playing with them. So number 5, my last essential plugin for every pro motion designer. This is the be all end all. This is actually number 1 in my book. This is Sapphire. Boris FX Sapphire. It used to be called Gen Art Sapphire. I've used Sapphire since 2007, maybe 6, somewhere around that time. A long time. Since then, the price has dropped dramatically. This has always been one of those premium plugin suites that, over the years, some motion designers have complained that the price is too much, but they still get it. And it's dropped in price and it's very affordable now. And if you want to be a pro, you need Sapphire on your system. This is the suite of plugins that I feel like they should be paying me for saying this stuff. This is the suite of plugins this is the polish right here. This set of plugins. I have never come across any plugins in my career that have looked as good as Sapphire plugins do out of the box. These plugins, you can almost apply them straight as a preset and you're good to go. Now, I typically will, like I said, with Red Giant Universe, I said the same thing. I will typically go in and I will adjust parameters. But Sapphire is so good that you almost don't have to adjust very many parameters. If you want to really customize your look, get in there and do it, because that's the other great thing is it can be a little overwhelming when you first open up the interface. It's like there's all these parameters depending on the plugins, but it's so easy to adjust the parameters and make it look even that much better. It's like, why not? So Sapphire is because sometimes people ask me like, doesn't Red Giant look as good as Sapphire? No. I love Red Giant, don't get me wrong. But Sapphire is different. It's in a class of its own. Sapphire plugins have been used on feature films, blockbuster films for many, many, many years. They're continually used on feature films, feature commercials. Now, other plugins are used on those as well, but Sapphire is the go-to plugin. So in my big membership course for Stylecraft, I preach a lot of Sapphire use because that's where I go. If you want to be considered a pro, Sapphire is where it's at. Every pro motion designer that I personally know and have worked with over the years owns Sapphire and uses Sapphire. Okay. I can't remember how many categories of Sapphire, but there's lighting. Lighting is my absolute favorite. There's distortion, there's stylize, there's transitions, there's blurs. There's more to it than that. But Sapphire, if you were to buy only one plugin out of this list of 5, get Sapphire. You won't regret it. It's amazing. So my 5 essential plugins for every pro: Overlord, Frischlift Curves, Animation Composer, Red Giant Universe, because I can't do this finger ever. There we go. Red Giant Universe, Sapphire. 5 plugins every pro should own. As always, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. And until next time, I'm Cameron, and this is Motion Science. See ya.